Exeter beat the reigning French champions last week in the last 16. The reward is a tie against the reigning URC champions. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Exeter versus Stormers. It's at Sandy Park, Exeter. Saturday, the 8th of April. Kickoff is 5:30 BST. Okay, so we'll start with the teams. For Exeter, we have Wyatt, Noel, Slade, O'Brien, Woodburn, Joe Simmons, and Beckinsale are the backs. Forwards then, Seo, Frost, Street, Johnny Gray, Jenkins, Kirsten, Chiunza, and Sam Simmons are your forwards. Replacements, Yendel, Abeladze, Isofa, Scott, Davis, Ewers, Cairns, Skinner, and Hogg. For the Stormers then, backs are Willemse, Hartzenberg, Nell, Duplessis, Sanatla, Lebok, and Yanchis. The forwards, Kitsoff, Dweba, Malherbe, Van Ryn, Ori, Pocamela, Dixon, and Theunison. Replacements, Kotze, Vermaak, Fush, Porter, Engelbrecht, Daimani, DeWet, and Blomekes. Okay, so team news for Exeter. Just one change from the starting 15 that played against Montpellier in the last round, and that is that Woodburn comes in on the wing, but it is actually the same starting 15 that was selected to play Montpellier, but Woodburn had to withdraw late from that game. Then one change in the bench. Stuart Hogg comes onto the bench in place of Hodge, so pretty settled team, but remember the bulk of those players have 100 minutes in their legs as well for this one. In terms of Stormers then, backs remain unchanged from last week's win against Harlequins. Pocamela is into the back row for Fourie. He's out with an eye socket fracture. He was absolutely immense against Harlequins, so he's going to be a big miss for them. Theunison is promoted to 8 as Daimani drops to the bench. I think Daimani is probably going to have a better impact from the bench, honestly, because he is, very rangy guy, loves to pop up on the wing. So when the game, tired legs, game opens up a bit, I think him coming off the bench makes more sense than Theunison, who, he's a great 8 as well, but I think he gives you a little bit more in the tight. So probably the right way around for this one. Obviously, if Damani comes off though and sets the winning try or whatever, or scores the winning try, he's probably back in then for the semi-final. Vermaak then returns to the bench in place of Harris. I'm pretty sure Harris only come in as injury cover, right? So not too surprising there. Okay, so how did the teams get to where they are now? Exeter finished second in Pool A, went win-win, loss-win, double over Castra, lost away to the Bulls, but then won at home against them. Stormers, third in Pool B, went loss, win-win-win, lost to Clermont, won the reverse against them, did the double over London Irish. Exeter currently 6th in the Premiership, Stormers 2nd in the URC, definitely one of Europe's form teams at the minute. Exeter are 2020 champions. Stormers, this is their debut year. I feel like, though, that they're going to make a big impression. They've already have, as of the other South African teams as well. But I think the Stormers could do something special this year. Last year, Exeter were eliminated at the round of 16. They lost to Munster. Stormers obviously didn't play in the competition last year. The last time they played in their domestic league, Exeter lost 36-19 to Bath, and Stormers drew 22-all to a Leinster team. In fairness, it wasn't the Leinster team that played against Ulster in the last 16, but still it was a very strong Leinster select there, and it's basically the Leinster team who've had them up near up at the top of the league, unbeaten for the entire season. So Stormers put in an amazing performance there. Then in the last 16, talking about amazing performance, Exeter against Montpellier. What a game that was. It looks like Exeter were going to go through. Montpellier score a last minute penalty to take the extra time. Then they score a try to go ahead. Exeter, though, right to death, respond, score that try that actually see them go through on try countbacks. But again, those players have 100 minutes in their legs. Stormers, they won 32-28 against Harlequins. It was a fairly close game, but Harlequins kind of scored last minute try to put a bit of gloss on the scoreline from their point of view. The odds, Exeter 9-5 and Stormers are 11-18, so on favourites for the game. Termed odds 25-1 for Exeter, 16-1 for the Stormers. In terms of what the two camps have been saying, Baxter, he's been talking about his expectation of the team, said, it's the same every week. You need to work hard. Last week is pretty much a baseline for them. They need to make themselves hard to beat. Certainly did that against Montpellier. They are, were able to hang on in there, and I think it's going to give them a good chance to progress here. But as I said, Stormers, one of the informed teams in Europe, so maybe just hanging on to the coattails might not be enough. In terms of Stormers, then it's the 50th appearance for Ruan Nell. John Dobson has been talking about that team, they're going to leave all out on the field at Sandy Park. Said it's a huge knockout game for them, so they're going to give it a full tilt. Also talked about Exeter's excellent home record, and that it's going to take a big effort from the whole 23 to get a result. Also said about Nell that he puts the team first and sets a great example for the team as well. Exeter, as we've said a couple of times now, there's 100 minutes played last week. That may affect them towards the end of this one. So if it's anywhere close, you may see Stormers pulling away, but Exeter did show some real dog to get that late try after going behind in extra time. So just because they're tired, they showed that they can still focus right to death and they can still deliver the goods. So Stormers can't take that as granted. They've got to be on their game for the entire 80, if not possibly 100 minutes again this week. The Stormers then, they showed against Leinster that they're able to respond when a team comes back and go ahead of them. That was part of the performance against Leinster that I felt was so impressive. The fact that, they got up, 17-0 against Leinster, right? With heavy wind in their favour. Leinster then come back and go ahead 22-17. Normally when Leinster do that, there's only going to be one winner in the game. They're going to, tack on another score or two and pull away from you. Stormers didn't let that happen. They had that dog as well. They came back and they got the draw. But I think for this one, we've got to expect another ding-dong battle, and this could go right down to the wire once again.